Welcome to Redtastic. Story 1. Am I the a-hole for expecting my adult daughter to pay back what she owes me? My 48 male's daughter, 21 female, Aria, abandoned us. Her stepmother, younger half-sister and me, when she was 15 to go live with my enabling ex-wife, Sandra, and her husband. Until then, we had 50-50 custody. But Sandra has always been less strict than me. She always let Aria do whatever she wants and has never had any home rules. She also buys Aria everything she wants, so she will want to live with her. Sandra lives in the same town where Aria's high school was, while I live 25 minutes away. So one of my rules was that if she went to meet up with a friend there, meaning I had to drive her, the next time they met, it was her friend's turn to come. If the friend's parents didn't want to drive the kid here, then Aria wasn't allowed to meet them again while she was with me. Everything was fine that way for years. The major fallout happened in her last year of high school. She was 15. She went on a trip to another country with her school and didn't bother to send more than a couple texts when she was away for 5 days. So I decided to ground her, because she had to learn to respect and show some love for her family. She insisted she had sent messages to her mother, but we had barely heard from her. She's never had a lot of friends, but she had been invited her to some popular girl's birthday party. This was my punishment. Not going to that party after forgetting about her family. She got upset and started calling her mother to come pick her up. But it was illegal to get her if it was my week. Plus, she wanted to go to her mother's because she would lift my punishment and let her go to the party. Her mother came by the end of the week and I told Aria that she didn't have to come back if she didn't want to. I waited, but I heard nothing from her again. Her sister kept asking me why she didn't come back, and I didn't know how to explain to her that she didn't love us, and that she preferred staying with her mother, her parties, and a free-of-rules life. Over the years, we've communicated through lawyers because Sandra has zero intentions on helping me get my daughter back. She finally has her to herself. They have been demanding that I pay for child support, even now that she's 21 years old. I have to pay for that and for half of her college expenses by law. When Aria turned 18, an adult, I started adding up everything I had to pay in an Excel that I sent to Sandra when I updated, so she knows what damage she's doing to our daughter. I expect Aria to pay her debt, but I gave Sandra the option to pay for her, to which she refused. We are now at $18,000. Aria has been trying to get in touch again. I told her that we can't fix the emotional part unless we fix the money part first. She needs to prove to me that she doesn't only care about the money. Sandra says I'm an a-hole, but I think she is, since she has done nothing but try to take my daughter away, and she finally has what she wants. So am I the a-hole? Edit. I sent her some texts to which she replied, but she never initiated the conversation or even told us how her day went. I understand with the data roaming she could only use her phone when she had internet, but when she was back at the hotel she could have at least said something. Aria made her decision, which was staying at Sandra's. She's an adult now and I shouldn't be forced to pay her if she chose a mother. She is the one who should be paying. I don't keep track of what I spend on my other daughter because she lives with me and loves me. I get a good morning, a good night from her every day. She's also a lot easier than Aria. She doesn't talk back to me like Aria did. Also, Aria left voluntarily and her mother is capable enough to provide for her without my money. I shouldn't be forced to pay for a child I don't even know anymore. Aria has earned my money. She is living comfortably at her mother's house and sees me as an ATM. And I'm not willing to pay not even a penny. I'm planning to take this to higher courts, and all expenses on lawyers will be added to her debts. I told Aria that she could come live with me and we could forget about the debt, but she still chooses to live with her mother. She says she needs time to live with me again and she wants to go slow. But she's an adult and would certainly go live with a boyfriend without going slowly, or even a friend. She wants everything while giving nothing in return. So if she's not even willing to come back to live with me, the debt will still be up. Wow, you're the biggest a-hole I've ever seen, OP. You're also a horrible father. Arya doesn't have to pay her debt. She doesn't owe you anything. And anyone in their right mind, High Court included, will take one look at your case and throw it in the bin. You're paying for her because you're her father, whether she likes you or not. Whether she lives with you or not, she's still your responsibility, so you have to pay for her. Arya isn't being difficult by not wanting to live with you or preferring her mother. You made her prefer her mother because of your attitude and cruel punishments. She didn't text you so much when she went on a school trip and then you grounded her. Who does that but a sucky father? You suck, OP. I hope you realize this is all on you and find a way to make amends before you go too far and it's too late. Now for some comments. I laughed my ass off when I read that part. He wants his 21-year-old daughter to pay him for stuff the court ordered him to pay, and he was also required by law to pay. It's like me waiting for my son to turn 18 to tell them they have to pay me for everything since the day they were born. Wait, no, I should be stricter and ask to be paid back since I got pregnant with them. Some people shouldn't be parents, really. This girl would have been better off with just her mother. You're the a-hole and a huge one. She is your daughter and she doesn't owe you anything. Unless you had an agreement, but you don't. And her abandoning you, no, she did not. You told her she could stay away and she did, and rightfully so. Because she didn't text you all the time when she was in another country, I would have stayed away too, and I'm someone who hasn't talked to my father for almost 18 years. Because he was an ass. You deserve it. Big time. Leave her alone if she doesn't want to talk to you. You controlling ass. Wow, you're the a-hole. Wow, you clearly have no ability to see this from your daughter's perspective at all. Do you seriously think she went no contact with you for years just because it was more fun and freewheeling at her mother's? An adult can abandon their family, a child cannot. A child leaves because their home life is intolerable. Your daughter does not owe you any debt. She did not sign any contract with you for a loan. You are either willing to support her as a parent or you are not. But she is not forcing you to do anything. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for abandoning my children? I, 47 male, am the biological father to 3 children. After I divorced their mother, I basically went MIA. You may call me an a-hole, but hear me out. My ex-wife, 49 female, and I were married for 20 years. Together for 26. Before I caught her cheating on me, I had gotten off from work early as I didn't feel well and called her to let her know, but she didn't pick up the phone. I figured she was at work or running errands as she was a nurse and worked odd hours. I went home, prepared some tea, and went upstairs to take a shower and change into my robe. Then I walked into the room and saw my ex-wife and some strange man sleeping together. To say I was heartbroken is an understatement. My wife had been my whole world up until that moment. We had 3 children together, the oldest who was 16 at the time. After discovering my wife's infidelity, I felt uncertain if our children were mine. I had them all DNA tested, which I lied about and said it was to see if any genetic illnesses or something had been passed down to them. Unfortunately, the results came back stating that I was the father. At first, I tried being there for my kids, but co-parenting with my ex hurt. She seemed to have a new partner every week, and seeing her happy while I was miserable hurt like hell. I loved my children, but I couldn't be around their mother. I tried filing for full custody, getting child support, and no visitation, but my ex, like the snake she is, made the courts side with her. So I had 50-50 custody of my children. Me having them 4 days a week and her 3 days as my new house was closer to their school, and they preferred staying with me as I had a pool and gotten a new dog, which their mom never allowed me to while we were together. I tried co-parenting with my ex, I really did, but it was too painful. I told her that I couldn't do it anymore and either she hands over full custody or I'm leaving. I guess we all know what happened next. So now it has been 10 years and I haven't seen my children. I moved to a different country, USA to Switzerland, And met a lovely woman, 39. I told her my ex cheated on me and discovered my kids were not biologically mine. She was okay with this, though she did feel a bit iffy at first, because I raised the kids for 16 years. But we grew closer and fell in love. We're now married and expecting our first. I have never been more in love and I wanted to spend the rest of my life with her. For Christmas, she got us both those DNA testing kits, 23andMe. I thought nothing of it. I thought that all it did was tell you your ancestry, but apparently it showed my ancestors and living relatives. My wife was emailed the results of both tests, and to say that she was mad when she read them would be an understatement. When I returned home from the butcher shop, she dug into me, asking how I could lie to her, how could I abandon my children so easily, how could she trust me not to abandon our child if I suspected her of cheating, etc., etc. I told her she was different, and I trusted her, and that I am a changed man and would never abandon the child we have together. She basically told me, tough shit, and said I have to get out of her house. I own the house. I told her that since only my name is on the mortgage and I pay everything around here, she has to get the hell out. She ended up packing a bag and leaving for her parents' house, but not before throwing her ring in my face. She slammed the door and left. Now it has been a few days since I've seen her and she has told everyone in our little community about my past. My friends have been spamming me with calls and texts asking why I did what I did. When I try to explain my side of the story, people just dismiss me, saying, what your ex-wife did does not matter. Those were your kids, and you don't just abandon them. Now I don't know what to do. I still look at my old kids' socials to see what they're up to. My middle child has gotten married, and my oldest is married with 2 children. They seem to be doing just fine, so me leaving couldn't have been that bad for them. So Reddit, am I the a-hole? Yes, you're the a-hole, OP. For abandoning your children, for saying it was unfortunate that they came back to be biologically yours after being in their lives, as their father for years, and for lying to your new wife and making her believe you were a good person. You're an a-hole. You don't just leave your kids like that because your feelings got hurt. It's sad that you got cheated on, but leaving your children and letting them pay for what their mother did was a horrible thing to do. You're the a-hole, OP. I'm glad your wife ran when she found out who you really are. Story 3. Am I the a-hole for going to sleep instead of helping out my wife? Some background information. I work 10 hours a day, 6 days a week. I work a very physical job, and when I get back home, I can barely stand on my 2 legs. My wife does not work at all, and we have no kids. And her job is to make sure the house is in a livable position. Yesterday, before I went to work, she told me that she's going to make me dinner by the time I come back, plus vacuum all the rooms in the house, plus do the laundry and also go to the local pharmacy to pick up her medication. The things I listed above shouldn't take more than 4 hours. I came back home and she still hasn't done the laundry. Plus I had to make my own dinner. So I made my own dinner, and when I was about to go to sleep, she asked me if I can help her do the laundry. I told her I will go to sleep, and she said I do not value her time. Literally, she had 12 hours to do all the things and shouldn't take more than 4 hours. And she still hasn't finished everything. Am I the a-hole for going to sleep instead of helping out my wife? Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. If it's an agreement that you work while she stays home and does all of the day-to-day tasks, she shouldn't expect you to help her when you've worked all day and need to sleep. It sounds like there's a little resentment with the current arrangement, understandably. You should communicate and agree on what's expected of you both in the relationship moving forward. Not the a-hole. What was she doing? I have kids and I can get most stuff down before my partner gets home. Admittedly, not every time, depending on the day. Is she ill? Maybe she has trouble with motivation? I don't want to point blame at her because I don't know the situation, but I don't think it's wrong for you to just want to go to bed after a long day at work. Not the a-hole. If you don't have any kids to keep her occupied and she is literally just keeping the house clean, they're not sure why she's asking you for help. But sounds like there must be an underlying issue given her phrasing. Maybe she feels like she isn't valued in the current arrangement. Or maybe she wants to earn her own money. Is there a reason she doesn't work? You need to talk to her, but you are definitely not an a-hole for wanting to sleep. Instead of helping her with the laundry, honestly, it's not like it's a difficult chore.